fun, rainy one out here. Steph was just saying how he just loves the advantage that it might bring for opponents. How does it feel just knowing that playoffs are coming up and it's just that good, miserable Seattle weather?
Yeah, well, there's a few games before we talk about playoffs. We got to make sure we get ourselves in. That's number one. But I appreciate Steph's enthusiasm, or maybe it's just the guy who's asking the questions' enthusiasm. But yeah, it is an advantage when you come here on a day like today. The turf's a little slicky, slippery, or slick, and some teams don't like it. We're used to it. You can pitch it either two ways. It's the same thing like if you had to, go to New York in December, or Toronto in December. There's an advantage there. So we'll certainly use anything we can to get us in the playoffs and to ensure that we have a long run in the playoffs.
What are you expecting out of this Houston side on Monday?
Well, it's hard to say because they've got they're going to have some guys missing due to call-ups. But I expect a well-coached team. Wilmer's done a great job there at Houston. I still remember last year. I mean, he had his team going, and it took a lot to beat him in the Western Conference Championship. And that was home field advantage there, which helped us. But he'll have his team organized, ready to go. So we'll just focus on our guys to make sure they're right.
Manoto is certainly having a good year.
Very
how
good.
do you contain him?
Well, we've got a lot of good center backs in this club, and he'll have his hands full as well. But how they run out, what formation, all of that could be subtle changes, but we'll be ready for him.
You guys get to kind of sit back all weekend and see other results sort of take place, especially this time of the year whenever it does sort of start to factor in the standings. Would you rather wait and sort of let that play out, or would you rather go first and put the pressure on the other team?
That is such a good question, Matt. I don't know how to answer that. You actually got me stumped because, against Colorado, we were first, and it was great because you could just relax and, you do your thing and you watch everybody else. And is there subtle pressure? Like a team wins or loses, it's just in front of you, and then you add a little pressure to yourself? Good question. I don't know if I can answer that yet, but I'll get back to you when I have the answer.
Sounds like you did appreciate it last weekend, though, whenever you could apply that pressure.
Well, hindsight's 20/20 because look, we won. So then, what if we would have lost? Then you would have been anxiety as well. So, I guess I could say if we continue to win games, whichever side of the fence you're on with your question is irrelevant.
What's it been like to have Jordan back out here just training and just running around with a smile on his face?
Well, he was happiest guy on the squad today, not just because of the rain, but he was actually out to partake in some preliminary drills. So he's, on the right timetable. There's been no setbacks, and we look forward to having him out at training more.
Has he started the campaign for a playoff cameo at all yet?
Well, I might be starting that campaign, not just him. I'd love to have him, but it's a little early to tell. Look, we're all excited. We're happy that he's out there, but he's got a long way to go.
With how much your midfielders like to interchange in the attack, how do you keep the guys who haven't seen as many minutes ready to go and keep that chemistry going if they have to hop in?
Well, if you watch the S2 game, the last S2 game, we had 8 players, first-team players, and John Hutchison does a great job at S2. We had Handwalla, we had Alex, we had Wingo, we had Lamar. They all got Jordy Delem. We all got considerable minutes, and they really took it to their opponent for the first 45 minutes. So that was good for us to see and look at. That's the purpose of having S2. And then, look, we've been doing this since January 23rd. And yeah, I get it, they're not always in the 11, but they've trained enough with their teammates now that they kind of know the tendencies as well.
Speaking of that S2 game, what did you think of seeing Alex Roldan get his first professional goal with that great highlight?
It was a highlight reel goal, and so was Lamar's. I mean, a couple of nice goals. I was hoping they could close out the game, but it's good for Alex to get his first goal and build some confidence for sure.
What were the performance of those first-team guys there planned by you, thinking in what's coming up with the next games?
Yeah. Well, S2 has been a viable resource for us all season. And it just so happened that our training plan, and John has a really tough stretch of games. He's playing Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Wednesday. His schedule was congested. So again, we're just working together to just make sure that he has stuff that, because Academy started up as well, so that we have enough players to fill in to help him as well.
You've talked a lot about the pieces that Houston might be missing. Is there anything for sure that they'll be missing certain players?
Well, it's on their website.
What does that do for your planning?
It just makes sure that our team is right.
Okay.
I can't control what happens to them, so I'm going to control my team, and we'll get our team ready.